So our next speaker, you heard from earlier, he gave the demands. Geoff Ginter, he works in healthcare, and he spoke last year as well. He came from New Jersey.
Garden State.
It's you.
Yes, as best I can.
I still came from New Jersey this year too. All right, so this is where things are going to get real. What we have right here is awesome. I love you all. This is insufficient. I'm sorry to be a downer. This is insufficient. Any march that starts at one point, ends at another point, insufficient. Everyone back there knows that they're expecting us to go home after this and do nothing but pat ourselves in the back, did a good job, you know, maybe we pissed some people off, maybe we did this, maybe we did that, who knows. But they know they can ride this out. They rode it out last year, they're going to ride it out this year. A march is useful when and exclusively if it is an invitation to extended, long-lasting, personal sacrifice, direct action. That is what is needed. For over 150 years, the working class understood what it took to get the powers that be to actually do their goddamn jobs. And we have forgotten that. We have abandoned direct action. We have abandoned general strikes. We have abandoned militancy in service of just vote. You got to vote. You got to vote hard. Oh, I do. I vote hard every 2 years with my middle finger. Fuck you. But it's insufficient. Yes, everyone must vote, and there's numerous reasons why you must, but you don't ever have to vote for who they tell you to. Not once. If the person you want to vote for isn't on the ballot, write someone in. You want to get closer to 100% voter participation, nothing will turn the oligarchs' bowels to water faster than realizing that we are all active, that no one stays home. But no one is going to come out if most people have already seen that no matter who occupies those offices, nothing changes. They're not lazy. They're not apathetic. They're the only ones who have seen the truth. When you're going to have to wait for hours and hours and hours in line. And I'm sure you've heard in Georgia, it's illegal. What we're doing right here, giving people food and water, can't do in Georgia. They're waiting for hours and hours, tired and hungry. People aren't going to do that when they know that the whole system is rigged. No matter who gets in there, we die. So what's the missing ingredient? There were two, and Steve Grumbine started off with this. You must understand how the federal government actually works. It is not a household. It is not a state. It is not a municipality. It has given unto itself the exclusive right to have the legal authority to marshal whatever resources it wants to do whatever it wants. And you see this everywhere. Whenever someone that they like wants something, it's done in a heartbeat. When Wall Street needs to be bailed out, it happens like that. They don't even debate it. Don't fucking tell me that Congress is too slow to act, that they can't get shit done fast. When their corporate masters want it, it gets done. Gets done in seconds. So if they want to do it, they can do it. I want everyone to understand this. What matters to the federal government, not your state government, not your municipal government, to the federal government, the only thing that matters is, can it be done in reality? And I'm not talking political reality, I'm talking in reality. Do they have the real resources available to give us Medicare for all? Do we have enough doctors, Do we have enough nurses, hospitals, clinics? Do we have enough pharmaceutical companies making the needed medications? Do we have enough medical manufacturers making the x-ray machines and the MRIs? If we have these things, the federal government can pay for it in seconds. It takes a vote and a signature, and that's it. If we don't have it, and they still sign, we're going to have wait times. Because if you have the right to see a dentist, but there aren't enough dentists, when you make your appointment, say, yes, we can absolutely see you. You have a right to be seen. We'll see you in 5 years. We're already booked that far out. So when they make their legislation, one of the first things they have to do is assess the real resource capacity of our existing resources to be able to provide what we need. And if we don't have enough doctors, if we don't have enough nurses, if we don't have enough dentists, then those are resources that can be created. We can train them, we can import them. With the financial resources that the federal government has, if they want to go to the rest of the world and say, come be a doctor here, we will fund 100% of your practice, 100% of your research, we will get that shit done. If we don't have enough hospitals, 300 hospitals have closed over the last several years. They're just sitting there abandoned. We can retrofit them. We can get them back up and running. We can put clinics on every corner. The limits are the limits of your imagination. And I want to emphasize that. It's your imagination. They won't do it. You have to push them. 70% of the people say they want a national single-payer health care plan. Most of those people get easily scared off, not just by Fox News, also by MSNBC, CNN, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the New York Times, all these people that are owned by who? Corporations. They get scared off by how expensive it's going to be. When they ask, how are you going to pay for it? We should all be perfectly aware now. That's not the question they're asking. They're not asking, how are you going to pay for it? They're asking, who are you going to force pay for it? Are you going to tax the rich? Are you going to tax the poor? Are you going to tax the middle class? Who is paying for it? Bullshit! That's not how the federal government spends. That is not how they operate. They don't tax the rich to get that money and put it into a pool and then divvy it out. Tax the rich. Yes, tax them into the fucking Stone Age. They're way too rich. They use their riches to gather all the resources that we need to live, and they hoard it for themselves. Corporations are buying up aquifers, the natural water supply, the building blocks of life. And corporations have acquired the legal authority to own all that shit. It's ours. It belongs to the people. But the people will not take possession. Why? Because they've been convinced that they can't. They've been convinced that it's too expensive. They've been convinced that their betters know better. I'm here to tell you that is fucking bullshit. They do not know better than you. But they do know some things most people don't, because they've spent the better part of 5 decades telling you that taxes will pay for spending. That if you want X amount of dollars for social programs, then you have to cut programs here or raise revenue there. No, you don't. That has never been the case. We could take a vast swath of the American population who otherwise want these things to happen. But 2 things happen because they're afraid of the cost. They either say they want it, but they're not going to fight for it. You're not going to be an obstacle, but they're not going to be an ally. And we need them to be allies. Or they're going to actively fight against you. I'm already taxed too much, I can't afford any more. That's not how it works. And they need to know, because we need them to come out and fight. Because we got 50 people here. Out of 360 million people, 50 people came out today. And I love you all for coming out. But this is not enough. We need more. The American Northwest, the Southwest is going to be out of water in just a number of years. The southern part of Africa is pretty much already done. You're not going to hear that on the mainstream media. They don't want to start a panic. No, they just don't want to tell you what the fuck is going on. They don't want to tell you what the result of colonialism is, what the result of extraction from those shithole countries. They're not shithole countries. They're beautiful, incredibly powerful, rich countries. There's a reason we go there and steal everything that they have. The countries are rich. The people are poor. That's because of us. And if we're not actively fighting against that, we're passively saying, okay. Yes, silence is violence. What I'm asking of each and every one of you is a massive undertaking. We are overburdened. Climate change is coming for us. We have no possibility of getting health care today. We are overly policed, overly stimulated, overworked, underpaid, stressed out beyond all capacity for reason. And despite this, I am telling you, it is not over. We still have a chance to turn all of this around. But it won't happen with a march. It won't happen with a sternly worded letter campaign.
It won't happen by the Green New Deal. Use, quote, valid problems that we need to work on real solutions.
Who is government, sir? Tell me right now. Who is government?
It's us. Yeah, you can say that. Or government. Did you pass any laws this week?
The problem, sir, is that the people that are in government stole the government.
That's true.
Then what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about that shit right there.
You're talking about that shit? Healthcare for everyone. You think that's shit?
Yeah. Wow.
What the fuck are you doing here?
I was coming by and I heard your mouth telling me.
And I'm hearing a mouth from you saying that we deserve to die.
No, you don't deserve to die.
Then what the fuck are you talking about?
You deserve to tell me I have to pay for it.
You're not paying for it. You need to pay attention.
You think it's going to be free?
I think it's going to be done with public money. The federal government is not financially constrained. Your taxes do not fund federal spending. That is the point. It never has. It never will.
Have you ever seen a large federal program work?
I have seen a whole group of people get together, buy the government, and make things not work on purpose. That's what I have seen.
You are being extremely disrespectful to our speakers, and you need to go. Keep your mouth shut.
I have the same right as you have.
We have a permit.
I'm speaking real
We
problems.
have
I'm not either or.
But you don't understand what the problem is or the solution. You think the government is something outside of yourself. If you're not going to take the government, then the government will be outside yourself. That's the way it works. The problem is corruption. The problem is who occupies that office. And if you're not going to be part of the solution to get them out and be the government, then you don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I agree with. We need to do just that.
And when we do that, we will have all the resources we need to get that. You're not paying for it. He's not paying for it. She's not paying for it. We, the people, are paying for it. Money is a legal contract.
Maybe that remains to be seen. Step number one, get them out.
No. Step number one, build a movement that will make them do whatever we tell them to do, regardless of who is in there. You want to make it electoral? No matter who you send in there, they will be bought and sold by the time they've been sworn in. We don't have time for that. So we need to build a movement that will say, I don't give a shit who's in there. We're going to make you do it no matter who you are. Republican, Democrat, Green, Independent, Libertarian, don't give a shit. General strike, mutual aid. You have to make them hurt.
We need more people.
Yes, we do. And when are you going to be one of those people? Instead of just running your mouth, when are you going to be one of those people? Thank you very much. What we need is a general strike. Bring them to their knees. Nothing less will do. We don't have time for anything less. Even if you think we do for healthcare, we do not when it comes to climate change. Big and bold is all we have left if we want to live. Thank you very much.